See, I knew I always liked that the female Abby, Margaret. There was just something about, what she did at the very end. Alright, so this is the recap review for Wayward Pines Season 2, Episode 7, Time Will Tell. And the episode starts off with CJ, whose actual name is Christopher James. And so CJ is periodically waking up every 20 years. And he's basically doing maintenance, making sure that everything's good. Well, not everything's good, but everything's good with the systems, and also checking to see what's currently going on in the outside world. That was his main function. CJ was the guy who actually watched over everyone while they slept, and also saw the current conditions of the grounds of where Wayward Pines was going to be created, because at that time it still wasn't created. Everything was still housed in the mountain area. Now we have Theo. He's talking with, of course, Megan. Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, by the way. Talking with Megan, and Megan is on this whole tip of she's still trying to downplay the female Abby, Margaret's intelligence, and Theo is trying to tell her, look, she is smart. She is very smart. She can understand us. She can comprehend a lot. You know, I was able to teach my dog in, 2 days how to pee outside. So I'm sure I could teach her a lot. I was just like, oh, okay. But, so he takes these cards and he gives each card a reference. The crown means that you're the leader. Green means yes. Red means no. And there was something else that meant friend. There was another card that represented friend. So he tried to show... And it was cute. He actually pretended like him. Oh, the hand meant friend. And so he went and pretended like he was actually friends with Megan. So he was just like, see, we're holding hands. We're friends. Just like, oh, thank you. Oh, the validation. I'm like, Megan, you need a man that badly? Is that what's going on? And of course, he was like, what do you feed them? So she got the treats. And so, again, the whole animal reference. So he put the treat on the green card that meant yes. He took it away on the red card, which meant no. Now Margaret is so smart, she decided she didn't want the treat for herself. She wanted it for her companion. So she pointed towards them. It was like, no, don't give it to me, give it to them. And again, we see this flashback again of CJ. And he's talking to himself. At least right now, he's talking to himself. Again, he has the radio, he has the TV, and war was still going on. Refugees. There was also this virus that was taking over. And as we now know what that virus actually did. The Abbies, yes, they are human. Well, no, they were human at one point. And the virus came over, took them over, and that's what became the human race. Of course, because of war, destroyed the majority. Of course, the fallout of war destroyed the Earth at the time, and so the only thing that survived were these humans that mutated, and they're Abbies. I mean, that should have been obvious. They looked human-like. But, again, CJ, he's just listening, but this time he goes out and he's wandering. I'm wondering if CJ was maybe out for like a good month or so, or for a couple of days, or if it was just for a day or so, but he was out and about, you know, surveying the land. He was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Wow, everything looks good right now. And again, it was every 20 years that he would be awoken back up. Now, he met this guy, and this guy was just like, I'm not infected. Don't worry about it. Where are you from? I'm from the West. Where are you from? It doesn't really matter. And they go out fishing. CJ goes, he catches a fish, he's super excited, but this guy catches a fish too. The difference is, this guy's hands were already kind of mutated, so CJ knew something was wrong. So CJ went and tried to run, but the guy found him. It was just like, look, where are you going? Can I go with you? Why do you have to leave me alone type of thing? It's not fair. I don't want to be here by myself. CJ went and he didn't strangle the guy, he broke the guy's neck. You know, he broke the guy's neck. Because it was just like, I have too many people that I need to protect. It's my job. So we already see that CJ had to have that level of burden placed upon him. It's just like, damn, that's messed up. We're back in present time. And Theo is trying to work with Megan. And like I said, the female Abby, Margaret, decides, you know what? Give the treat to my companion because I don't need it. Of course she doesn't need it because they're coming for her. They want her. She is the leader. You understand me? Margaret is the leader. She's the one that they should be afraid of. And so Theo, CJ goes, wakes up again, checks the radio, all of that. Now we see who CJ was actually having the conversation with. It was with, I believe, his wife. And, you know, essentially, CJ was trying to just think of a time where things were different. And he's come to the realization mentally that things will never be the same. He's basically alone for 2,000 years. The woman that he loved, he left back there. And the issue with that is, he was just like, you know, once my job is over, I'll go back there and I'll lay down and I'll just be with you forever. Of course, in reality, she's already dead. She's been dead for a while. Her bones, her ashes, all of that. Nothing even exists regarding her anymore. So we're not talking about scientifically speaking. We're just saying the reality of the situation. So CJ, hit with that reality, he finally accepts it. And you can see he becomes a different person. He's not that lighthearted, carefree person that they were showing in the beginning of this particular episode. Adam barges in. It's just like, you need to get her out of here. What are you doing? Why is she here? You know, Adam was playing 20 questions with them. And Adam was trying to make sure that they understood that she is smart. She is watching us. She knows what's going on. They are coming for her. You see that there's thousands. There's 1,000 of them. There's maybe only a couple of hundred. Now there's 1,000. There's going to be more than 1,000 out there. They're coming for her. Do you not understand that concept? She is the leader. It takes months to get that symbol. You don't understand the gravity of this situation. Why are you guys acting like I'm crazy? I am not crazy. I'm a little crazy, but not with this. Not with this. With this particular situation, no. Because I am done with all of you. So it looked like CJ, he spent at least 100 trips. I mean, he was awoken 100 times. So I don't know what that equates to. Again, I don't know if he was awake for just like a month, for a day, for a couple of days. I don't know, for a week. But CJ is awake, and now it's 4014. And so he wakes everyone else up, and him and Piltcher go out, and Piltcher is pissed. Piltcher is confused because he's looking and wondering, why in the hell are those things here? And of course, CJ is kind of familiar because he saw someone who looked like they were turning into something like that. Piltcher knew that the Abbies were going to be around. I mean, he knew that the Abbies would exist, but he thought that, you know, they would just go and die out. Now, this Abbie was black. So clearly this shows that the Abbies really were people that got mutated, and this is what they turned into. Now, I'm still trying to figure out where their reproductive organs are, how all of that works. But anyway, so Piltcher, he's pissed because he's thinking we're supposed to go and, you know, outlive them by staying frozen. Now that wasn't the case, and his plan, instead of going back and freezing everyone like CJ thought, no, Piltcher's just like, he's thinking, I'm going to do something extremely smart. I'm going to take the land. I'm going to take it because it is ours. You know, we were supposed to outlive them, so it is officially ours. It's our right. It belongs to us. I'm thinking, how can a land that never belonged to you in the first place all of a sudden belong to you because you... This is giving me Christopher Columbus. All I could think of was Christopher Columbus. That's all I could think of. How can you go to someone else's land, decide you're going to go and run them off, kill them and run them off, because that's his plan, and then build the wall around it so that they can't come back, and you wonder why they're... Okay, we know whose fault it really is. And so, remember, Megan was over it. Megan went to get Jason, and of course, Carrie's there by default. Jason is there, and he's looking like, what is going on? These Abbies are dumb. What are you guys saying? Why don't we just go and kill her or keep her held captive, torture her? We'll figure something out. It's not a big deal. That's what Jason's really thinking. Carrie's just like, look, this could be our opportunity, because Carrie's smart. She's very smart, and she knows that she has Jason's ear. So Carrie's trying to tell him, what are you doing, dude? You are about to make a grave mistake. Why would you go and kill them when instead use her, you know, learn more about her, and possibly control the other Abbies outside so that they don't just come in and ransack the place. And this is where, what's his name? This is where Theo takes charge. Theo is irritated, and Theo's like, look, I'm clearly going to have to do something to convince this airhead, this entitled elitist airhead, that there's more to the Abbies than what he sees. So before that, we go back in time again, and Megan's talking with CJ, and CJ's just like, look, we don't belong here. You really think that we're the best of the best of this world, this new world, because everyone else is dead? You know, I've had 2,000 years to cope with the fact that I've left so many things behind in 2,000 years ago. All the people that I knew and I loved died, all of that. Do you know what will happen when all these people who were uprooted from their lives realize what's really going on? Do you realize what will actually happen to them? They will revolt. And I am not taking any parts in pretending like everything's good. The Abbies that we killed in order to build upon their land, yeah, you know what's going to happen there too. But, you know, I'll let you live in your little, continue to live in your fallacies. Why don't you go and do that? Next thing we know, we see D-Day when, of course, everyone revolted because and I'm thinking this is possibly the original revolt. I think that's, because remember, if you watch season 1, there were actually technically 2. There was one a long time ago when they initially brought back, initially started Wayward Pines. And so I'm thinking this was the initial revolt. And so CJ was just like, I told you, this is a joke. I don't understand why they're here. Theo, now in present day, is doing everything he can to try and convince everyone, look, we can't just let her, we can't just give up on this opportunity of having the leader. So Theo goes and he takes a risk. He opens up the male Abbie cage so that he can go inside, and he's going to go and test to see if he gets mauled and she's not able to control him or do nothing, then she's not the leader. Then she can't be of use. Now, it's interesting. When he's stepping in the cage, the male Abbie looks at her to kind of get the signal of what should I do. But you know what he still does? He still goes and initially bites Theo. Of course, Adam saves him. Well, actually, no. He gets pulled out. Adam closes the gate. And the thing is, the female Abbie did stop him. She did stop him from really going crazy. But that wasn't enough for good old boy Jason. Jason decides, screw it. I'm going to kill all of them anyway. I'm going to show her how, forget positive reinforcement. I'm going to show her consequences. That's what we're going to go with. That's how we're going to spin this narrative. We're going to go and say, you couldn't control your people. You think you're this and that, but at the end of the day, you're nothing. So I'm going to go and shoot everyone, including you. I don't care. I'm just going to set fire to the rain and tell everyone to drink from it. That's Jason's mentality. That is Jason's mentality. And Theo goes and gets the gun away from him. Adam sets in front of him to make sure that he doesn't shoot the female Abbie. Carrie goes and says, do you trust me? Do you still see me as worthy? Do you still see me as an equal? Okay, you do? Oh, really? Are you sure? Then why are you still doing this? Why are you still doing this? And Megan tried to go and make Carrie feel less than, tried to down her intelligence and everything, because Megan thought that it would be a great idea to go and say, oh, well, you know, Carrie, you're not really of use. Jason is the one and true heir. You're just there as a sidekick because I trained you, so don't speak to me. Don't talk down to me. Don't act like I'm not smarter than you. You are kind of smart. You're kind of quick, but you're not me. I'm like, yeah, she's not. Anyway, woo! Anyway, she was just like, yeah, your whole job was to actually procreate. That's what you were meant for. And you couldn't even do that. I'm like, oh no, is she barren or something? I feel bad. No, I don't. I don't want a little baby Jason out there in the world. A little baby Hitler part 3. Because Jason's the part 2. So the baby would be the part 3. And Adam's just looking because Adam's over. He's like, you know what? We're screwed. We're screwed. the female Abby is over it. Margaret's over it. She doesn't like us. She is officially going to say, F all of you, F all of you, F all of you. I am not playing with you guys anymore. But one interesting thing that I just remembered is that I think the female Abby, aside pointing herself out as the leader, I feel like she also pointed Theo out as the leader. So that was very interesting. That was a very interesting turn of events. Megan is just saying how, you know, some old feelings got stirred up when we were doing Wayward Pines and just thinking about the past and all of that. But then I realized I made a life for myself here and I'm just going to have to accept it for what it is. I'm thinking that's all well and good, but you are the cancer of this show. You're the cancer of Wayward Pines because you're convincing Jason that everything is right, that humans are just superior, as if Abbies weren't at some point humans themselves. Theo takes the gun and leaves because he's saying, I'm going to my house. Oh, I'm going to the hospital. I'm just getting out of here because I'm done with you. I'm done with you. In a couple hours, I will be back. I'm thinking that's interesting that he said all of that, now that I think about it. Jason finally gets some sense and he goes and talks to CJ saying, you know, was Piltcher wrong? Was he wrong for, you know, waking us up or having us up at this time? And CJ's just like, you know, whether he was right to go and take the Abbies home or not was right. Why are you asking me right now? And clearly he's asking because his plan might be to go round everyone up, put them back into the, what is it called? Back into the mountain, freeze them again, and maybe wait another 2,000 years. I'm thinking that might be his goal because right now Wayward Pines is crashing fast. And even Jason knows that. And the next scene, I was so proud. I was so proud. Margaret, we see Megan, and I thought she was dreaming, but Megan looked like she was about to pass out. I'm like, where's all that blood from? Oh no, Margaret escaped. How did she escape? Of course she escaped by when Theo typed in the code, Margaret looked in the reflection to see the code, and so she easily mimicked that and the sequence. And by doing so, she unlocked herself. She unlocked herself when Megan wasn't paying attention. And so while Megan was asleep, she cut the Achilles tendon. Megan slowly bled out, and Margaret made sure that she had that knife and was like, which in my eyes meant, girl, are you dead or are you dead? Are you dead or are you in that casket? Oh, Lord Jesus. I've been waiting for her to die. I've been waiting for her to... I know that's terrible to say, especially with all the stuff that's been going on. I know, but I've been waiting for her to die. I really have been. I'm so happy. Alright, so the female Abby is free. They're going to figure out how the hell they're going to go and capture her again because the Abbies outside are ready to wage war. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week. Also look out for my review for, what is it called? Damn, what are those shows called? Hollywood Divas, LA, that comes back on. Of course, Greenleaf, also Big Brother.